Hi Everhouse, my name's Anthony Hope. This is my house in Los Angeles. The house was built in 1938. We moved here about 10 years ago. It wasn't in a great condition when we got it. Basically, we went through and just kind of simplified it. Make it more of a livable, modern space. We took down some of the walls back here, opened up the space, brought more light in from this side, and really try to utilize the garden. We did have a design direction. We kind of went for a sort of London meets Los Angeles. The idea was we used sort of black, white, and gold as our palette. Upstairs you find 2 bedrooms. Both for the kids' bedroom and ours, we kept things clean and simple. And timeless. I think timeless is really important too. Just try to sort of blend everything together. My girlfriend takes care of the plants, which kind of pull everything together. So she's the green finger that does her little edits too. So we kind of play with the space a lot. There's a lot of movable space too. And it really worked well, the space flows well. And then also having children here, it's just a nice space for them to flow through and we can always see them. And it's a good place for them to play in a long space too. I think the art in here, it's kind of like a playful mix of everything. There's some old stuff that came from my family of portraits that used to scare me as a child, and I think it's nice to sort of mix it up. It comes back to this thing of mixing everything together, but doing it in a very nice, palatable way. That you can kind of mix fine art, photography, design items, and even pop art. There's this guy, Nick Smith, up here, where he takes things and plays with the Panton names and does sort of humorous mixes on them. There's also an Evan Hecox piece. I've always been a great fan from him doing like chocolate skateboards back from the early 2000s, when people were really doing really nice commentary on culture at the time. Then there's another friend of mine who did these huge photographs of LA. Took these beautiful shots of something that when you're actually there, it's quite brutalist architecturally. But when you see it from above, it's a completely different, playful kind of thing. And I mean, even my children love sticking stickers of cars on there and playing and being like, you know, it's the freeway. My son came to me and was like, Dad, I want to paint a chair or something. We have an older Panton chair, which is a mini one, a child-sized one, and it actually was yellowing a little bit. So we sat for a day and ended up doing a project where he started drawing. We agreed at the beginning it was 100%. You couldn't just do a little drawing, it was like, do all of it. I think you've seen the fruits of it upstairs, right, with all the colors. Yeah, it was a really, really, really fun project. From a very early age, I've been really into drawing. And I've been lucky enough in my work to carry on being able to draw throughout my career. So it's almost like I feel like creating or being able to illustrate something is more important than being able to talk, I think, to a certain degree. And yeah, it's a really big thing for me to try and teach my children, where I see it as it's like learning another language. Prior to my accident, I was traveling all over the world, collaborating with big brands, working with amazing athletes, to then going to a state of, I can't move. I went through a plethora of cars, from Caterhams to M3s, Audis. Then I landed on Porsches and 911s because they were the only ones I didn't break. I was big into driving, and I was driving for maybe 10 years in the canyons, in the mountains, doing rallies with people. Unfortunately, that came to a halt in 2018 in December. I managed to put my car off a 200-foot cliff, paralyzed myself from the belly button down. I broke my back. Everything below my belly button was on fire. It's like being dipped in a cauldron of fire, and it's still in my feet to a certain extent today. So I was in lockdown for 5 years. So if people think, you know, COVID was bad for a year, you try a 4.5-year stint. You know, it's like kind of going to a bougie prison. But then obviously there's this training element where I have a PT that comes here and helps me train here. So we train in the garden, use all the apparatus outside. So I'm basically on the roller or some kind of stretching device literally 3-4 hours a day between doing yoga, working on my legs. It's not a straight trajectory. With nerve pain it does this, and sometimes it does this, where you go right to the bottom where, because of the regrowth, it literally is like someone's just electrocuting you all day long. The drawing really helped me get into a very sort of calm space where I could just be creating. I was in bed and I was on my phone and I was like, look, if I'm going to do this, we should do the thing we've talked about for years, which was start a footwear company. And then that's kind of where this project came from, the Röhma Motorsport, between myself and my partner, where we'd both been embedded in racing shoes. My partner had been the creative director for Pelotti for the past 5 years. And now the product's out there, so we're slowly getting the product out in the market. It's something we truly believe in. I'm originally from the UK. I grew up in London. In my career, I ended up moving to Germany and leaving the UK, working for Adidas for 3 years. I moved to the US in 2002, 2003. I was up at Nike working in advanced innovation for footwear for about 5 years. Then eventually I moved on and we started our own design consultancy, Ernst, from the spare room. We kind of went from an office environment working for a big corporation, basically into 2 people in 1 room. But now we're in our own studio down in Venice. I can't remember how many days it is, but it's about 63 months. And being in this amount of nerve pain for 63 months is a real mind game. All of it's helped me, from the creative side of it, my children, my loved ones, friends, family. But I did carry on working, you know, so I mean, I worked for Fox and did motocross boots for them, and I walked in there in a walker. So I mean, it's been a lesson in kind of determination and also like goal setting of like, I think if you set yourself a future goal, you can get there, you know. To me, it's just, in life, the switch is on or off. It's 1 or 0. And every day I try to make a movement forward. And I kind of took that same mentality of never giving up. And you just kind of really push and just keep pushing. And have faith in what you're doing, and you realize it all comes together. The energy you're putting becomes something.
Subscribe to the Everhouse channel by clicking on the logo to receive updates on our latest episodes.